Political apps are heating up, and a curious story of two app developers today on App Judgment. This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. Hey, and welcome to App Judgment, your source for mobile app news and reviews from Revision 3. Today I come to you with a parable of sorts. This is a cautionary tale of a rich man and a poor man, of two app developers with very different fates. But first, with the US elections coming up, many of us, at least in the US, are inundated with political advertising. You know the formula: eerie music and a creepy narrator describing how their opponent wants to kill your grandma and eat your newborns with their political puppetry. Well, now there's an app to help you find the real story behind all those ads. It's called SuperPac app, and it works much the same way as, say, Shazam. It uses audio fingerprinting to identify the ad you're watching and bring up a bunch of information about who funded and created the ad, how much money they have, and finally, the specific claims made in the ad. All in all, a great way to help voters read the fine print. But of course, they're not the only developers who want to help you get ready to vote in November. The makers of Infinity Blade just released a presidential-themed version of their original hit. Vote the Game pits the two frontrunners in a mic-beating, hot-dog-slinging fight to the finish, complete with debates, fundraising, and policy initiatives. And of course, a reminder to register in real life.
I'm not actually Mitt Romney, but I look a lot like him.
I am a cartoon representation of Barack Obama, and I appear in this game.
Next up, a true story about how one guy got really rich and another guy went broke doing the same thing. But first, with Labor Day coming up, a reminder from the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. The police will be out in force nationwide from August 15th to September 3rd in a nationwide effort to crack down on impaired driving. Do not put yourself or others in danger or risk the terrible legal repercussions. Drive sober or get pulled over. And Labor Day is particularly dangerous. In 2010, for example, 147 people died in drunk driving-related accidents. So this year, record numbers of state and local law enforcement and highway safety officials across the nation will be taking part, and they will be looking for drunk drivers day and night and making the road safer for the rest of us. There's no reason to drive drunk when there are so many other options. Take an Uber, take a taxi, take the bus. Just don't drive drunk. Drive sober or get pulled over. All right, last but not least, a tale of two app developers. The other day, The Verge published a story about the free-to-play iPhone game CSR Racing, which we've reviewed here before. It's a 3D racer game where you tap on the screen to race in a drag-style environment. Big whoop, right? What's remarkable is that reportedly the app is generating $12 million a month in revenue on in-app purchases alone. CSR Racing relies on a sophisticated in-app model that encourages users to continually buy and upgrade various car parts, bells and whistles like decals, and most importantly, gasoline. The gameplay itself is extremely simple and the app is free, though for the developers it is also extremely lucrative. Meanwhile, take Milk and Greg, the studio behind Mauricio's all-time favorite iOS game, Solip Skier. They've since released a new game, Gasketball, which has been a pretty big success in the App Store at over 200,000 downloads. But the developers say that in spite of the game's popularity, they are far from millionaires. In fact, they are currently unable to make their rent, which sucks. And they attribute this to their pricing model, which is free to download with a one-time in-app purchase of $2.99. Some people have criticized the in-app purchase model of games like CSR Racing as exploitative or even predatory. Our very own David Prager calls the model nuts and exorbitant, but that it just goes to show how 99 cents here and there can really add up. What do you guys think, though? What model do you prefer? Do you make in-app purchases or think they're a huge waste of money? As always, please let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter at Annie Gauss, and you can find the show on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and on our homepage at revision3.com. See you next week.